Network. This is Inside Politics.
Hello, everyone. I'm News Channel 5's political analyst, Pat Nolan. Welcome to Inside Politics. It's often said it's the most important thing our state and local governments do, and that's educate our young people. Today, we're going to talk to the man who's in charge of public education in Davidson County. He's Dr. Jesse Register. Dr. Register, thank you so much for coming on the program.
It's good to be here.
Let me talk first get you to react to some comments that were made by former mayor and former governor Phil Bredesen, who recently told an interviewer that if he was going to be mayor again, his first priority would be primary education. He said, and I'm going to quote here, it just has to move up a few notches to keep up with the growth in Nashville. There are some bright spots, but there are also some real problems. That, to me, would be the most limiting factor to our future growth and success. Are public schools the problem, the tailwind on Nashville's success?
Well, I don't really think so. I think, but I'm a great admirer of Governor Bredesen, and I think I understand what his remarks were. We have to continue to get better, and I know one thing I said when I came to Nashville a few years ago now was that the public school system just hadn't kept up with a very rapidly changing community, and I think every day that's the pressure I feel. We've got to keep getting better. We're growing. Where our student enrollment goes up 1,500 to 2,000 students every year. We've become much more diverse, many languages, and I feel like we're making great progress now. But it's always a challenge to keep getting better.
Let's talk about another public official who came to town, had some very good things to say about the school system. President Obama was here. You had a chance to meet. He had good things to say about the programs at McGavock, where he spoke about the increase in the graduation rate in Davidson County, about your ideas of expanding and making pre-K universal in Davidson County. Is that something you're going to show to the council and the mayor when you're asking for an increase in the budget this year?
We invited them all to the event. It was a great day, and I think the significance, Pat, is that his trip to Nashville was a follow-up to the State of the Union, and it was the only place where he really talked about public education in this country, and he really focused on three things. He focused on pre-K, and he focused on high school reform, and that was really the reason he came, because of the work that we've done with our high schools here, and he called us the model for the country and invited people to come see us. And then the third thing that's gotten lost a little bit in the follow-up is the emphasis on technology and improving technology in public education, and those are three areas of focus for us this year.
Now, you mentioned about the need for a continued commitment to move forward in public education. Not too many weeks ago, but before the president came, Mayor Dean, and you were on the stage with him, basically said there are no blank checks for any city departments. Did you feel like that was aimed at you and at what the school board may be asking for? When he was here on this program a couple of weeks ago, he said, well, he's certainly in favor of things, but he wants to finish what we're doing first before we take on too much. Is everybody trying to do too much, and there's only limited resources?
I think the big issue is pressure on the budget. How do we best use the resources that we have? And I think there's going to be pressure on the budget this year. And we're advocating for some things that I think are very important.
Are you having to work with the mayor to get him to come around and support? You want to start a universal pre-K program in Davidson County. You've got the first installment of that coming out, both in terms of capital dollars and operating dollars. Have you still got a selling job to do, both with him and the council?
I think so. I think the first step is a pretty easy one. We've got a lot of partners. We've had very positive results across the community at the model schools that we're going to start. Reaching it all the way to serving every student who needs and wants that help is a bigger challenge.
If you're having that problem, if you're having that kind of success with the schools here locally, why are you having such a tough time selling that idea of universal pre-K on the state level? Governor Haslam's not sure about it. Certainly members of the legislature are like, well, okay, it works, but by third grade, whatever advantage for children who do that vanishes.
You know, the research is getting stronger and stronger to show the impact, the ongoing impact of good quality 4-year-old programs. And we've got a partnership developed with Vanderbilt University now, and Professor Mark Lipsey and Professor Dale Farron, who really are national experts on this issue. And I think as the further we go, the more there's going to be a consensus that quality pre-K, particularly for those children that need it, but for all children, has a very good return on investment. So quite frankly, our children need it, and we need it in our schools, and I'm tired of waiting.
Another area that seems to be of controversy is the criteria that are going to be used for how we give teachers pay raises. They're the critical part of success in any classroom. You had a new pay plan proposal that you sent out for the teachers to look at that would be based on performance.
Right.
But you've changed your mind about that. Why?
Well, we haven't changed our mind. What we've done is slowed down so that we get good support and good consensus for the plan that we're proposing. Actually, I had a meeting with a task force that developed the plan yesterday afternoon late, and there's a sense of relief that we were pushing so hard that we would not get a lot of buy-in from teachers and others for the plan that we had.
You got a lot of backlash, actually. Teachers not liking it. They want to stay where we've been before, which has been based on years of seniority and how many degrees they have. So
I don't think the concept is the problem, and the pay for high performance is the issue. But you have to build a level of trust among the teachers. And if they don't trust, there's been so much change lately. If they don't trust the system, then it won't be effective. I've said this a lot. If this needs to be a motivator, a performance pay plan should motivate best high-performing teachers to come here and to stay. And if it doesn't do that, then it's not effective. It doesn't work. And so we're not really stopping. We're continuing the work. We met yesterday. We're going to continue the work of the group, but we need to pause. One specific example of why we need to slow down a little bit. Next year, this is the last year that we'll do TCAP testing. Next year we go to PARC assessment. When you change tests, there's an invariable performance dip. And so teachers are afraid. They're afraid of the unknown. They don't know what the PARC test is going to look like. And if you start basing their pay on test scores, we need to wait until we implement the new test before we start that process. Dr.
Jesse Register, the Director of Metro Schools, is our guest on Inside Politics. Our conversation with him continues after this break.